From the story, human, I insist you inspect my body. The alien commander's demand. The lights inside the human ship Falcons reached dimmed slightly as the alien visitors entered the main hall. Everything had been prepared for this first official meeting between humans and the Threxery Empire, a powerful crystalline species from a distant part of the galaxy. Commander Vel, the Threxery leader, stood tall and shining like glass carved by stars. Her body reflected light in strange ways. Each movement made her form shimmer like a living crystal. Her guards stood behind her silently, while she stepped forward to meet the human diplomats. Captain Rayhan, leader of the human vessel, smiled politely and extended a hand. "Welcome aboard, Commander Vel. Humanity is honored to host you." Vel tilted her head. The Threxery did not shake hands, but she gave a respectful nod. "The Threxery greet you, Captain Rayhan. May this meeting mark the beginning of a strong bond." Everything seemed to be going smoothly until suddenly, Vel staggered. One step, then another, and then she collapsed. Her crystal body hit the floor with a sound like breaking glass, but she did not shatter. Her guards rushed to her side. So did the humans. Lights turned red as an emergency was declared. "She's down!" shouted a crew member. "Get medical here now." Captain Rayhan turned to the ship's chief xenobiologist. "Dr. Mira, get to the medbay. She needs immediate help." Mira was already moving, her tablet in hand, eyes sharp and focused. "Understood," preparing xenomedical protocols. In the medical bay, Commander Vel was placed on a padded surface surrounded by soft light and scanning machines. Her body glowed weakly now. The crystal surfaces of her form were dim, and tiny cracks had appeared across her arms. Mira worked quickly. She activated her scanner and ran it over Vel's body, but the results were strange. No heart rate, no blood, no known organ structure, she muttered. "Her entire body is built differently from any life form we've studied." She looked at the readings again. "She's alive, but her energy signals are fading." Mira turned to her assistant. "Prepare the neural stabilizer. We need to keep her conscious." As the machine warmed up, Vel's eyes opened. They glowed faint blue, human. Her voice was weak, almost like a whisper made of wind and ice. Mira leaned closer. "Yes, Commander, you're safe. You collapsed during the meeting. We're trying to help." Vel's crystal fingers reached out slowly and touched Mira's arm. Her voice, though soft, carried a clear order. "Human, I insist you inspect my body." Mira blinked, unsure what she had just heard. What?" "Inspect it. Fully. I must know what is wrong." Mira nodded slowly. This was not a strange request, it was a cry for help. Vel didn't care about pride or cultural rules. She was trying to survive. "Understood," Mira said gently. "I'll begin now." With great care, Mira adjusted the medbot arms and began a detailed scan of Vel's entire body. The crystal surface was cool but not cold, hard but not sharp. Inside, the readings were strange. There were glowing strands like nerves, and clusters of light that pulsed with energy. But one thing caught Myra's attention. At the center of Vel's chest, hidden deep beneath layers of crystal, was a small object. It was not part of her biology. "Something's inside you," Mira said carefully. "It looks like a fragment of metal. Maybe stone. Wait." She adjusted the scanner. Zooming in. It was a shard, no more than a few centimeters long. But it glowed with a faint golden light. Mira's eyes widened. "This isn't Threxery in origin. This is human." Vel's eyes opened again. Her voice was weak but steady. "Explain." Mira showed her the scan. "This fragment inside your body. It's a material known as zilithium. It was mined on Earth a long time ago. It's extremely rare." "I was never on your world," Vel said slowly. "How did this come to be inside me?" "I don't know," Mira replied. "But it's reacting with your internal systems." That's likely what caused your collapse. Vel's glow dimmed again. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Then you must continue, inspect everything. Discover the cause. Hours passed. Mira worked nonstop, studying Vel's structure and watching the effects of the shard. Whenever she moved near the object, it responded. Light grew stronger, energy flowed. When she stepped away, it faded again. The shard is sensitive to human presence, she said to herself. But why? As the scans continued, Mira saw strange patterns inside the shard, like stored data or locked memories. But she couldn't access them yet. She looked at Vel, now resting quietly. But alive. This is no simple medical case, she whispered. There's a story inside you, Commander. And I'm going to find it. From the story, human. I insist you inspect my body, the alien commander's demand. The medbay of Falcon's Reach was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. Blue lights moved over Commander Vel's crystalline body as Dr. Mira studied. The strange object inside her, the shard, was still glowing, faint, steady, and warm. It looked out of place inside Vel's body. It did not match her structure, her energy flow, or any Threxery biology Mira had scanned before. And yet, it was reacting, growing brighter every time Mira came closer. She stood at the edge of the table, watching it. It's like it knows I'm here, she said softly. Her assistant, Juno, leaned over the monitor. You said it's zilithium, right? That's an Earth mineral. But how did it get inside a Threxery commander? That's the mystery, Mira replied. She says she's never visited Earth, but this shard, it's definitely human-made. Mira turned back toward Vel, who was still resting. Her crystal skin had started to shine again, but she was far from stable. Small lines still cracked her arms and chest like stress fractures in glass. Mira slowly reached out and placed her hand just above Vel's core. The shard pulsed again. Vel's eyes opened. It responds to you, she said, voice calm but tired. Even now, I can feel it moving. It seems to sense human presence, Mira said. It might even be reacting to our biology or our energy fields. Vel's hand moved slightly. This was placed inside me without my knowledge. It does not belong. But I fear it is now part of me. Mira nodded. And it's affecting your health. Later that day, Mira gathered more data. The shard was not just glowing, it was sending signals, soft frequencies too low for most sensors to pick up. But Mira's instruments were sensitive. What do you make of this? She asked Juno, showing her the pattern on the screen. It's too regular to be natural. Maybe a signal or a recording. Mira frowned. A message maybe. But it's locked behind some kind of energy field. I think it can only be unlocked by resonance, probably with the right kind of energy nearby. Juno raised an eyebrow. You mean like a human? Mira nodded. Exactly. Captain Rehan visited the medbay not long after. We've informed the Threxery High Council about the commander's condition. He said, they want regular updates. But more than that, they're nervous. Nervous about what? Mira asked. About the fact that something human is inside their top military leader, Rehan replied. They don't trust easily. They think we did this. Mira shook her head. That shard is old. It's been in her for years. Maybe since birth. We had nothing to do with it, Rehan sighed. I believe you, but they're afraid. And when people or aliens get afraid, they make bad decisions. Mira looked at Vel. She's not afraid, she's curious. She wants to know the truth. Rehan stepped closer. Then you'd better find it fast. Before someone else decides to take matters into their own hands. That night, Mira stayed in the medbay. She pulled a chair next to Vel's table and watched her breathing, if it could be called that. Threxery didn't breathe like humans. Their energy flowed through their bodies like a quiet river, always shifting, always glowing. Vel opened her eyes again. You are tired, Mira smiled. A little, but I have work to do. You are not like others. Mira tilted her head. How do you mean? You do not fear what you do not understand. You listen to it. You learn from it. Mira looked at the shard inside Vel's body. I think the universe gives us puzzles for a reason. Vel's voice was quiet now. I had dreams. Strange ones. I saw light and stone, and a figure tall, with 2 eyes and warm skin. It felt familiar. Mira leaned forward. That sounds human. I think it was, Vel whispered. They both went silent for a moment. What if this shard is more than just a tool? Mira asked. What if it's carrying something memory? Maybe, or identity, Vel blinked slowly. Then perhaps. I am not who I believed I was. The next day, Mira ran a new test. She created a field of human energy around the shard using a simple resonance amplifier. As soon as the field touched it, the shard glowed brighter than ever. Suddenly, a pattern lit up on the scan. A series of shapes, lines, and pulses appeared. On the monitor, it's a code, Mira said. Or a map. Juno stared at the screen. Where does it lead? Mira traced the pattern. It pointed to deep space far from both Threxery and human territories. A planet, she whispered. Or maybe a graveyard. Commander Vel sat up, weak but alert. You found something, she said. Mira nodded. I think this shard came from somewhere hidden, and it's calling you back. Vel stood slowly. Her body was still fragile, but her voice was strong. Then we must follow the call. From the story, human, I insist you inspect my body. The alien commanders demand. The stars outside Falcon's Reach moved slowly as the ship drifted through deep space. Inside the science lab, Dr. Mira stared at the glowing shard inside. Commander Vel's chest. The resonance signal was still active. The shard gave off a soft golden pulse 1 beat every few seconds. On the screen, the pattern looked like a path, a silent line leading through the stars to one single point, a place no human or Threxery had visited in over a century. This coordinate, Mira said, pointing at the map, matches nothing in our joint records. No starbase, no colony, no station. It's just a dark sector. Vel stood beside her, moving carefully. Her crystal body still showed signs of weakness, but she was recovering. My people called it Noraxis 3, she said. A dead world. Lost during the first expansion age. Juno, Mira's assistant, looked surprised. Lost? As in? Destroyed? Wiped from our maps. No explanation was given. The council forbade any travel there, Vel replied. Mira folded her arms. And yet, this shard wants to go back. There, Vel's glow dimmed for a moment. Then the answers we seek are hidden in the grave of a forgotten world. Captain Rehan stood at the bridge, arms crossed as he listened to Myra's report. You want to go where? He asked. Noraxis 3. Mira repeated. The shard is pointing there. Something buried on that planet is linked to Vel's condition. And maybe to us as well. Rehan didn't speak right away. He looked at the dark sector on the map. It was outside any safe travel zones. No communication relays, no patrols. Just empty stars. The Threxery Council has already warned us not to touch this matter, he said. They believe the commander's illness is ours to fix, but they don't want our help beyond that. Vel stepped forward. I do not serve fear, I serve truth. Rehan met her eyes, then looked at Myra. He sighed. Very well. We'll chart a silent route. No broadcasts, no signals. 3 days later, Falcon's Reach entered orbit above. NORAX IS-3. The planet was gray and cold, its surface covered in rock and dust. No light, no vegetation, no water. But strange structures rose from the surface, tall, broken towers made of crystal and metal. They look Threxery, Mira said. Vel nodded. They are, but older than anything I've seen. The landing team prepared quickly. Mira, Vel and a small security unit boarded a shuttle and descended. When they touched down, a dry wind blew across the broken ground. The air smelled of minerals and silence. They walked slowly toward the largest ruin. It stood like a half-buried monument, glowing faintly under the star's dot as they approached. Vel stopped. Her body began to glow, not weakly, but with strong, steady light. "The shard," she whispered. "It's reacting again." Mira checked her scanner. "It's increasing energy output. Something here is calling to it." Inside the ruin, the air was still. The walls were covered in symbols, lines, spirals, and star maps. Mira shined her light on one panel and gasped. The image showed a figure, tall, two-legged, round head, soft features. "That's a human," she said quietly. Vel stepped closer. "How can this be?" The image showed a human standing beside a Threxery, both touching a glowing object between them, just like the shard inside Vel's chest. Mira ran her fingers over the lines. "Your people and ours met long ago." Vel stared at the wall. "But we have no record, no stories, no history." "Because someone erased it," Mira said. "Someone didn't want us to remember." Deeper inside the structure, they found a round chamber with a crystal platform in the center. The shard in Vel's chest began to vibrate gently. Her glow pulsed in rhythm. "This is where it wants to go," she said. Mira stepped forward. "May I?" Vel nodded. Mira placed her hand gently on Vel's chest, just above the shard. She felt a soft hum, like music without sound. Carefully, she adjusted her field scanner, tuning it to match the shard's resonance. Suddenly, light filled the room. A holographic figure appeared above the platform. It was a man, tall, middle-aged, with a calm face, human. His voice echoed gently through the chamber. "If you're seeing this, then it means the memory survived." Mira's heart raced. "This is a recording." The figure continued. "My name is Ren. I was part of the first human exploration team to reach this region. The Threxery welcomed us once. We shared knowledge, technology, even dreams. But something happened. A rift, a fear. And everything was buried." Vel watched silently. UNMOVING. Ren looked directly forward. "To those who follow know this. The shard you carry is a key. It holds part of our shared memory. It must awaken the truth. And perhaps a new beginning." The light faded. Silence returned. Mira lowered her hand. Her voice was soft. "He wasn't just sending a message. He was hoping someone like you would carry it." Vel stood tall now. Her glow was bright. Her body strong again. "I carry more than a message," she said. "I carry a lost future." From the story, Human. "I insist you inspect my body," the alien commander's demand. The ship Falcon's Reach floated quietly in orbit above Neuraxis 3. Inside the science lab, Dr. Mira replayed the recording of the man named Ren again and again. Each time, his words felt more powerful. They were not just about history, they were a warning and a hope. Commander Vel stood near the window, watching the gray planet below. Her body glowed brighter than before. The shard inside her no longer pulsed in pain. It now beat like a second heart. "Ren's message, he trusted us," Vel said softly. "He believed someone someday would come back." Mira nodded. "And we did. You carried him all this time." "But why me?" Vel asked. "Why would a human memory be placed inside a Threxery commander?" "That's what I'm trying to find out," Mira said. "There's still something locked inside the shard. I can see it on my scans, energy waves, very low frequency. Like a signal that hasn't fully opened yet. Can it be unlocked?" Vel asked. "Yes, but not with machines. The signal is biological, emotional," Mira explained. "It's almost like it's waiting for a connection, a shared energy. Something between human and Threxery." Vel turned to her, curious. "You mean between you and me?" Later, in the medbay, Mira set up a special resonance chamber. It was a quiet room filled with soft lights and gentle sound waves. She and Vel stood inside, only a few feet apart. The shard was already reacting, its glow flickering like a flame. "This will feel strange," Mira said. "But it's safe. I'll adjust the energy field based on your heartbeat and mine. It should trigger the shard's next phase." "I am ready," Vel said firmly. Mira took a breath and activated the resonance. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, a wave of sound moved through the room, so soft it felt more like a vibration in the chest than something in the ears. The shard responded. It began to glow brighter, then brighter still. Suddenly, images appeared in the air between them. Not a recording, not a hologram. Memories. The chamber filled with light and sound. Vel gasped as visions rushed into her mind, flashes of forests, stars, and strange cities made of glass and light. She saw herself, but younger, and not just herself. Mira was there too, though she had never lived those moments. "What is this?" Vel asked, her voice shaking. Mira was wide-eyed. "I think we're seeing Ren's memories, but they're mixing with ours, like a dream shared by two minds." They saw Ren walking across Neuraxis 3, meeting Threxery leaders, building something, a machine with a shard just like the one inside Vel. And then, darkness, fear, orders given in secret, ships leaving, memories erased. He gave his life to protect this truth, Mira whispered, and now we carry it. Vel added. The vision faded. After the resonance ended, both Myra and Vel sat in silence, breathing deeply. The connection had shaken them, but it had also shown them something important. Their two species had once shared something: deep trust, knowledge, maybe even friendship. Juno entered the room, holding a new scan report. "I have something," she said. "While you were inside the resonance chamber, the shard sent a new signal." Mira took the report and studied it. The signal was clearer now, less like a code and more like a direction. "It's not just pointing to Neuraxis 3 anymore," she said. "It's leading somewhere else now. A star system near Threxery space." Vel stepped forward. "That region is restricted, guarded. The Council protects it like a treasure." "Then that's where we need to go," Myra said. Vel looked unsure for the first time. "If we enter that zone without permission, it could start a conflict. My people will not be pleased." Mira looked her in the eyes. "If we stop now, the truth stays buried. The shard chose you, Vel, and I trust that choice." Vel closed her eyes for a moment. Then she nodded. "Very well, we go." The next day, Captain Rayhan stood at the bridge with a worried expression. "You understand what this means?" he asked. "Entering restricted Threxery space could end the peace we've built." Mira looked at him. "But this truth, this connection, it's more important than peace built on lies." Vel stepped beside her. "I will take responsibility. If we're questioned, I will stand before my people and speak." Rayhan sighed. "You're both too brave for your own good." Then he gave the order. "Set course for the Black Spiral. Sector, quiet engines, no transmissions." As the stars moved outside the ship, Mira and Vel sat together in the observation room. "We're going deeper now," Mira said. "Yes," Vel replied, "but we are not alone. Ren's voice is with us, his memory, his hope." Mira looked at the shard, now steady and glowing like a small sun. "It's strange," she said. "At first, I thought I was just helping an injured alien. But now, I think we're part of something bigger." Vel smiled faintly. "You did not just inspect my body, Mira. You opened a door that had been closed for a very long time." And together, they watched the stars light their path forward. From the story, Human, I insist you inspect my body. The alien commander's demand. The human ship Falcon's Reach moved silently toward the edge of Threxery territory. The destination was marked on every star map as restricted. the Black Spiral sector. Few ships had ever entered it. Even fewer had returned. Inside the command deck, tension filled the air. The crew worked quietly, speaking only when needed. They knew the risk. Crossing into forbidden space without permission could lead to serious consequences. But Dr. Mira and Commander Vel believed the answers they needed were waiting beyond that border. Vel stood near the window, her crystal body reflecting starlight. The shard inside her chest glowed warmly, guiding them forward. "It's stronger now," she said. "The closer we get, the more it speaks." Mira stood beside her. "It's not speaking in words, but we feel it. That's enough." After several hours of silent travel, they reached the edge of the Black Spiral. Juno, the ship's navigator, spoke carefully. "We're approaching the coordinates. There's no sign of ships or stations." Captain Rayhan nodded. "Good. Keep sensors low. I don't want to trigger any alarms." On the screen, a dark planet came into view. It had no name. Its surface looked like smooth glass, with glowing lines across its land like veins of light. Mira stared at it. "It doesn't look natural." Vel's eyes narrowed. "Because it isn't. This is no ordinary world. It was made or changed." They prepared for landing. The shuttle touched down near a massive structure that rose from the surface like a frozen wave. It was smooth and silver, with symbols glowing across its outer walls. Mira, Vel, and a small team stepped outside. The air was breathable but cold. The ground beneath them pulsed with energy, like something alive slept beneath it. They walked toward the structure. As they came closer, the shard inside Vel began to vibrate again. "It wants to open something," Mira said. "I think this place is locked, and the shard is the key." Vel placed her hand on a glowing panel at the entrance. A soft sound filled the air. Lights moved across the wall, forming a path inward. The door slid open. Inside, they found a massive chamber made of smooth black crystal. In the center stood a circular platform with symbols carved into the floor. Around the edges of the room were large panels filled with old text and images. Mira moved closer to one of the panels and gasped, "These are records." "Historical records." Vel joined her. "This is impossible." The images showed humans and Threxery working together, side by side. Ships, cities, even children. A time of peace and learning. The alliance was real. It had happened long ago. But why was it hidden? Myra whispered. "Why would both our species erase this history?" Then they saw another image. One that made everyone fall silent. A group of leaders, human and Threxery, arguing in front of a great machine. Some looked afraid. Others looked angry. A bright light was breaking from the machine, and people were running. Juno stepped back. Something went wrong. At the center of the room, the platform began to glow. The shard in Vel's body responded. "Shining like a sun." "Commander," Mira said, "I think the platform is waiting for you." Vel walked slowly to the middle. As she stepped on it, her entire body lit up. The shard pulsed. The floor around her glowed brighter, and a voice filled the chamber. It was Ren's voice. "If you've made it this far, you are ready." A holographic projection appeared. It showed Ren standing in the same room many years ago. "This world is a memory vault," he explained. "When fear broke our alliance, we hid the truth here, hoping that one day someone brave would return." Vel stood tall, listening carefully. Ren continued. "We placed a shard in a newborn Threxery one, born with a unique energy. That child would carry our message, hidden deep inside, waiting for a human to unlock it." Mira's eyes widened. "That child was you," Vel nodded slowly. "I was born with something no one could explain. They called it a gift. But it was more." Ren's final words echoed through the chamber. "You are the bridge, not just of memory, but of future." Silence filled the chamber once again. No one spoke for several minutes. They had just witnessed a real history forgotten by most, but never lost. Mira walked slowly toward Vel. "You're not just a commander. You're living proof of what we once were, and what we could be again." Vel's voice was calm but strong. "Then we must tell the galaxy." Juno looked worried. "The Council won't like this. If we share what we found, they'll try to stop it. They've built their power on this silence." Mira turned to Captain Rehan, who had just entered. "We need to broadcast it, everything, the images, the message, the truth." Rehan thought for a moment. Then he gave a small nod. "I'll link the ship's core to this platform," he said. "If we do this, the message will go everywhere, Threxery, human, and beyond." Vel looked up at the glowing ceiling. "Let the stars remember what fear tried to erase." From the story, Human. "I insist you inspect my body," the alien commanders demand. The Falcon's Reach hummed quietly as its systems connected to the ancient crystal platform. Captain Rehan stood near the control panel, his hands steady, but his face serious. This was more than just a mission now. It was a turning point. Dr. Mira and Commander Vel were beside him, watching as the ship's computers linked to the ancient memory vault on Neuraxis 3. The glowing shard inside Vel's chest pulsed in rhythm with the platform's light. "Ready to send?" Rehan asked. Mira nodded. "Yes, the message will be broadcast to all nearby colonies, ships, and communication networks. Every listening station will receive the truth." Vel's crystal body shone softly. "Then let it begin." As the broadcast started, the walls of the chamber lit up with images and sound, clear and bright. The story of human and Threxery friendship, long erased from history, spread through the stars like a rising sun. The hologram showed peaceful cities, shared discoveries, and children playing together, moments of hope between two very different species. But the images did not hide the fear and division that came later. The secret meetings, the broken promises, the destruction of alliances. The memory vault's purpose was clear: to remember what was lost and to warn against forgetting again. Back on the ship, monitors began to light up. Incoming messages flooded the communication consoles. "Captain, ships from the Threxery Council are responding," Juno said nervously. Rehan focused on the screen. "What do they say?" "They want an immediate explanation. They're sending an envoy to investigate." Vel's glow dimmed slightly. "They will not be pleased." Mira looked at her. "But this truth will change everything. Fear no longer controls us." Hours passed as the Falcon's Reach waited for the Threxery envoy. The crew worked quietly, knowing the weight of what they had done. When the ship carrying the Council's envoy appeared in orbit, Commander Vel stood tall on the bridge. The Threxery captain aboard the new ship was cold and unyielding. "You have violated our laws by entering restricted space and releasing Forbidden's history," the envoy said sharply. "Explain yourself." Vel met his gaze calmly. "I carry a message from the past, a memory that was hidden but never lost. We have a right to know the truth." The envoy's expression did not change. "The Council forbids this. You have endangered peace." Mira stepped forward. "Peace built on lies is fragile. We seek honesty." The envoy paused, then said, "You will come with us for trial." The trial was held aboard the Council's flagship. Vel, Mira, and Rehan stood before a gathering of Threxery elders and human representatives. The room was cold and formal. The Council demanded answers. Vel spoke clearly. "We found the truth buried on Neuraxis 3. The shard inside me holds memories of our shared past. It is a bridge between our species." Mira added, "We broadcast this history because it belongs to everyone. The future depends on remembering, not hiding." Some elders murmured in disagreement. One stood up and said, "This knowledge threatens our order. It could cause unrest." Vel shook her head. Knowledge does not threaten. Fear does. A human elder stepped forward. We must choose courage. After hours of discussion, the council made a surprising decision. They agreed to allow the message to be shared publicly. But they also proposed a joint commission to investigate and protect this new truth. Vel felt relief, but also knew the real work was just beginning. Back on the Falcon's Reach, the crew prepared for a new mission to rebuild trust, unite old friends, and explore the mysteries of their shared history. Mira smiled at Vel. You insisted I inspect your body. Now we're inspecting the future of two species. Vel nodded. Together we will heal. From the story, Human, I insist you inspect my body, the alien commander's demand. The council chamber was silent. The weight of history hung in the air like a heavy fog. Commander Vel stood tall, her crystal body glowing softly under the bright lights. Around her, both Threxery elders and human representatives waited, watching carefully. The message had been delivered. The truth about their shared past was now known. Vel looked toward Dr. Mira, who stood beside her. The human woman smiled quietly, a smile full of hope. Today, Vel began, her voice calm and strong. We stand at a crossroads. For centuries, our peoples lived apart. Our histories were hidden, but now the truth has been uncovered. She paused, allowing her words to settle. This truth is not a threat. It is a gift. A bridge between two species that once shared friendship, knowledge, and dreams. Mira stepped forward. We have learned that fear built walls around us, but those walls can be broken. A murmur ran through the crowd. Some faces showed surprise. Others relief. VHL continued. It is time to rebuild. To open new paths. To work together as partners, not strangers. Outside the council chamber, the galaxy seemed different. The news spread quickly through stars and space stations. Some welcomed the truth. Others feared the change it might bring. On board Falcon's Reach, the crew gathered in the common room. Captain Rayhan addressed them. This mission is no longer just about exploration, he said. It's about healing old wounds and creating a future where humans and Threxery walk side by side. Vel nodded. The shard inside me is no longer just a memory. It is a symbol of hope, Mira smiled. And we will keep searching for more truths, for new friends. Days turned into weeks. The joint commission formed by the council began its work. Scientists, diplomats, and historians from both species studied the records from Noraxis 3. They uncovered lost knowledge about technology, culture, and even ancient peace treaties. Vel and Mira traveled to many worlds together. They spoke to leaders and citizens alike, sharing their story and inspiring unity. On one quiet night, Vel and Mira stood on the observation deck, watching stars pass by. Vel said softly, I once thought the shard was a curse, a burden I carried alone. Mira smiled warmly. Now it's a key, opening doors we never knew existed. Vel looked out at the endless space. This is just the beginning. Back on Earth, humans listened eagerly to the broadcasts from space. They heard of the ancient friendship with the Threxery and their shared destiny. Children dreamed of exploring the stars and meeting new friends. Scientists worked on new projects inspired by the old technology found in the vault. For the first time, many felt that the universe was not a place of strangers, but a home waiting to be discovered. Years later, Vel and Mira stood side by side. In a grand hall on Noraxis 3, the memory vault had been restored as a museum and learning center, a place where all species could come to learn their shared history. Visitors from across the galaxy walked the halls, listening to stories, seeing images of old alliances, and learning the lessons of the past. Vel turned to Mira. Do you remember when I asked you to inspect my body? Mira laughed softly. Yes, I thought it was a strange request. Vel smiled. That inspection was more than science. It was the start of a journey, one that changed everything. Mira nodded. Sometimes the smallest acts lead to the biggest changes. As the stars shone bright outside, Vel and Mira looked forward, ready for whatever came next. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and adventures. But they knew one thing for certain: humans and Threxery were no longer just strangers in space. They were partners united by truth, courage, and hope, and that was only the beginning.